Hello everyone, Dark Blaine here, back playing some more AFK Arena. And in this video, I want to look at Thesku's skills, signature item furniture, and engraving. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It will help you get notified on when I post new videos. So let's get on with the video. Okay, so first of all here, Thesku is a mauler. We figured that out in the patch notes. He's going to be an intelligence-based hero, belonging to the mage class, and his primary role is going to be control. So I'm hoping to see some crowd control abilities here, some stuns maybe from Thesku. And first I'm going to start off with his skills, starting with his ultimate ability, Ancient Terror. Thesku plays his Bone Flute and deals 240% damage to all enemies. If an enemy is marked by more than 3 Serpent's marks, they are petrified and turned to stone, becoming unable to complete any actions or recover energy for 5 seconds. With a level 2, after the petrification effect wears off, enemies lose 40 haste points for the following 5 seconds. And at level 3, damage is increased to 300% of Thesku's attack rating. So basically, Thesku will play his Bone Flute and deal damage, and if an enemy has more than 3 Serpent's Marks, so I'm guessing the Serpent's Marks will be on one of these other skills, they will be petrified and they will not be able to recover energy for 5 seconds. And then if they're petrified and after the petrification wears off, they will lose 40 haste points. Which I feel that's a lot of haste points to lose, and they're losing that for 5 seconds. So yeah, I feel that's quite a bit of haste points to lose there. And I feel like it's doing a pretty decent amount of damage as well, 300% of Thesku's attack rating. So yeah, that's pretty decent. Okay, looking at the second ability, Neurotoxicity. Thesku commands his snake Zilsu to spit a deadly neurotoxin at the enemy target with the highest attack rating, dealing 220% damage to them, causing them to become intoxicated. While in a state of intoxication, the enemy is unable to recover any energy and may only use normal attacks for 4 seconds. During this time, damage dealt by the enemy's normal attacks is converted into health for the target they are currently attacking. Now at level 2, damage is increased to 240% of Thesku's attack rating. Level 3, the enemy target is intoxicated for 5 seconds. And level 4, damage is increased to 260% of Thesku's attack rating. So Zilsu will spit a deadly neurotoxin at the enemy with the highest attack rating, and they will become intoxicated, and they will only be able to use normal attacks, and they will be unable to recover any energy for 4 seconds. And the damage dealt by the enemy's normal attacks will be converted into health for the target they are currently attacking. So that sounds pretty cool. Also doing quite a bit of damage, 260% of Thesku's attack rating as damage. That's quite a bit of damage. Pretty similar amount of damage to the ultimate ability though. That ability sounds pretty cool. Looking at the third ability, Serpent's Mark. So I'm guessing this is the one with the ultimate ability where they're talking about Serpent's Mark. This is a passive ability. Passive, when Thesku deals damage with his normal attacks and other abilities, targets are marked with a Serpent's Mark, which causes them to lose health or 30% of Thesku's attack rating every second for 8 seconds, but shall not die as a result. Once the Serpent's Mark has been stacked 5 times, the mark disappears and a venomous explosion is triggered, which deals 260% damage to enemies and stuns them for 3 seconds. Now level 2, damage dealt by the venomous explosion is increased to 280% of Thesku's attack rating. Level 3, the duration of the Serpent's Mark is extended to 12 seconds. So this one looks like it has a pretty good combination of crowd control and damage as well. When Thesku deals damage, targets will be marked with a Serpent's Mark, and they will lose 30% of health of Thesku's attack rating every second for, if you have level 3, 12 seconds. that sounds like quite a bit of health to lose as a result of this. And then the Serpent's Mark can be stacked a maximum of 5 times, and as soon as that happens, the mark will disappear, and a venomous explosion will be triggered, and that will deal with the level 2. It will deal 280% of Thesku's attack rating. So once again, pretty similar damage compared to the ultimate ability. And with the final ability, Cursed Flame, Thesku commands his snakes Zilsu and Zetsu to breathe fire upon any enemies within range, dealing 160% damage 3 times to the targets. Enemies struck by the third attack shall have their accuracy reduced by 50 points, crit rating reduced by 30 points, and crit amplification reduced by 30 points for 6 seconds. Effect cannot be stacked. And at level 2, enemies struck by the third attack lose 70 accuracy points, 40 crit rating points, and 40 crit amplification points. And at level 3, damage is increased to 180% of Thesku's attack rating. So, Thesku's snakes will breathe fire on enemies and they'll deal damage 3 times to the enemy target. So it'll do the 180% damage with level 3 times to the targets. Then enemies struck by the third attack will have their accuracy, crit rating, and crit amplification reduced. So that sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, and the damage is pretty good as well from that one. Overall, his skills sound pretty good. Okay, I'm going to look at the engraving since that's connected with the bottom 2 skills. I'm just going to look at these engraving skills here. Starting with this one, for Serpent's Mark. The venomous explosion causes enemies to lose 200 energy points. So, on top of everything that the Serpent's Mark will do, it will cause enemies to lose 200 energy points from the venomous explosion specifically. So when the Serpent's Mark stacks 5 times, the venomous explosion will deal damage, and it will also make the enemies lose 200 energy points, which I believe that's 1/5 of the energy bar that they have. Which that sounds like quite a bit of energy to lose. This Serpent's Mark engraving sounds really good. That one sounds really good. And the Cursed Flame. When the third attack deals damage to the targets, the negative effects inflicted on them by his ability are extended by 1 second for every Serpent's Mark targets are currently marked with. So this one is based off of the Serpent's Mark here. The negative effects inflicted on the enemies will be extended by 1 second for every Serpent's Mark the target has. So if the target has 4 Serpent's Marks on them, the negative effects from this ability will be extended by 4 seconds, I believe. That's how at least I'm reading it. I might be wrong on that, but that sounds pretty good too. Yeah, extending the negative effects sounds really good. Yeah, the engraving here looks really good. And if I look at these ones, looks like they're increasing the crit block rate for each star that you put on the hero. And looking at these details, looks like you're getting some HP, some attack, and defense. Yeah, you're getting a lot of others as well. Looks like you might be getting some haste as well. So yeah, his engraving sounds pretty good. Yeah, from looking at it for the first time. Okay, so I'm going to look at his signature item next. And see, Bone Flute. Signature item skill, Serpent's Guard. Each time Thesku has cumulatively lost 20% of his max health, once his current ability ends, his Snake Lishu grants him a shield that has the value equal to 15% of Thesku's max health, which exists for 8 seconds. So every time Thesku loses 20% of his max health, Lishu will give him a shield, essentially. And at plus 10, enemies that deal damage to the shield have their accuracy reduced by 70 points, crit rating reduced by 40 points, and crit amplification reduced by 40 points for 6 seconds. Effect cannot be stacked. So this looks very similar to the one skill that I looked at. So enemies that deal damage to the shield will have their abilities here lost. That sounds pretty cool. Now plus 20, value of shield is raised to 25% of Thesku's max health. So it'll be at a quarter of Thesku's max health. And at plus 30, enemies that deal damage to the shield have their attack and defense ratings reduced by 20% for 6 seconds. So this one's adding even more stats into this signature item here. So for that attack and defense rating, that might be worth it, getting Thesku to his plus 30 signature item. That could possibly be worth it. And looking at his furniture, let's see what his furniture has here. Let's see what abilities. Serpentine Servants. At his 3 of 3, when an enemy is struck by the ultimate ability Ancient Terror, if they are marked by fewer than 3 Serpent's marks, they will be marked by an additional 1 mark. So if they have fewer than 3 Serpent's marks, they will gain an additional 1 mark, which that could be useful for the ultimate ability, because I believe you do need 3 marks for the petrification. So if an enemy has 2 marks and they gain that additional mark, they will get petrified, it sounds like. So that 3 of 3 sounds very useful. And looking at the 9 of 9, Thesku is immune to fatal damage the first time he is dealt it, and he recovers 25% of his max health, and his energy is immediately restored to 100%. But he will be unable to use his abilities Cursed Flame and Serpent's Guard for the remainder of the battle. So this one has some cause and effect going on here. If Thesku will be immune to fatal damage for the first time, and he will recover 25% of his max health, and his energy will be restored to 100%, but he will be unable to use half of his abilities for the rest of the battle. So this one could be good or bad depending on how early Thesku uses this. So yeah, if he gains fatal damage at the very beginning of the battle, he will not be able to use Serpent's Flame or Cursed Flame and Serpent's Guard for the rest of the battle, which that could have a pretty big effect on the battle. But if this is used near the end of the battle, it won't really do much. So yeah, this one could be good or it could be bad depending on the situation. Okay, so now I looked at the furniture. I'm going to go over to the Arena of Trials and just test him out here in the battles that they have here. Here we go. I'm first going to start out with the wooden dummy. Just test him out here. Yeah, let's just see how well he does. I'm going to reduce the speed so I can just see everything here. Now it looked to be the venomous spit that the one snake did, and there's the ultimate ability. I want to see the serpent's mark that they put on the heroes. I don't think I've seen that yet, unless that's the serpent's mark right there, that purple stuff. That looks to be the serpent's mark. The purple thing in front of the heroes on the ground. That's pretty hard to see. I was expecting it to be on top of their heads, but it doesn't look like that's the case though. Yeah, it looks like they're doing quite a bit of damage here. And there's the ultimate ability again, doing quite a bit of damage to every enemy here. So there's the wooden dummy battle. I want to go ahead and also test him out in the Arena Guardian, the one Arena Guardian that they have here. And we have to use Thesku in this one. Because I'm going to put him in the back. Seems like a backline hero. I'm going to use Arthur. Give him that haste from Arthur. I might just put Rowan in the front line there as well. I want to test him out with Rose. And I guess I'll go for Nara as well. Let's just see how well Thesku does in this one. Hopefully he does pretty good here. Yeah, and I'll have the battle reduced here as well. Yeah, and hopefully it'll be somewhat fluid, I guess. Not very laggy. In hindsight, I probably should have put Nara in the middle, but we'll just see how well this goes, and then put Rose in the outline here. But it looks like we're doing pretty well. There's his ultimate ability there again, doing damage to every enemy hero. I want to see an enemy hero get petrified. Yeah, you need more than 3 marks, I believe. So you need 4 or 5 marks, probably 4, since 5 causes the explosion. I want to see one of these heroes get petrified. Looks like Thesku's almost dead there. There he goes. Yeah, looks like we just have Wukong here. Just taking down his minions. It's always annoying to take down his minions, because you know after you take down all of his minions, there's an extra Wukong in there just waiting to pop out. Which there's the real Wukong that we want to take care of. Yeah, and then he just splits into more clones of himself. Yeah, looks like Nara's taking care of it. Then again, yeah, I don't have enough patience for that. So there's the Arena of Trials with them. Looked pretty good from the Arena of Trials. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. Comment what do you think about Thesku. And thanks for watching.